The Horseman. When I was 8, my grandmother told me many stories before I went to bed. For context, I was always scared to go to bed, as I never liked being alone. Going to sleep in a room by myself was hell to me. She visited frequently, and at one moment she lived at our house. One day, she told me a story about her grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, telling me the wonderful things he did and his adventures. She told me how healthy he was, even the moment he died. I asked the question, how did he die? Although this was insensitive, my grandmother accepted the question and told me the story. Instead of telling me the cause of death or when he died, she told me this: to know. Her whole family lived at the house, and her grandfather, and she had just gone hiking with her and her dad. With this in mind, his death that night confused the whole family. It was raining, and she was sleeping in the same room as her brother. Her window faced the front yard so she could see the streets and the cars passing through. She randomly woke up at 4:32 a.m., feeling thirsty, and out of it, she got up to get some water. Glancing outside, she noticed a man on a horse. A pale man with big eyes staring up at her seemed to stop where he was at. She froze, blinking a few times and pinching herself. Her brother was still asleep when she looked over. I do not know why she did not wake him. She never explained that. After a few seconds of just staring at him, he gave a warm smile, not a creepy or weird one. He kept going on his horse until he was out of sight from the window. My grandmother then ran to her parents' room and told them what she saw. They blew her off, of course, being awake and probably not listening to her. She returned to bed, the horseman gone, thinking it was her imagination. That night, her grandfather died, not by natural causes, but by strangulation. It was unknown how, who, or why this attack occurred, but the killer was never caught. She told the police, her parents, and other family members what she saw, but was shunned and almost kicked out of her house. I was terrified that night. She told me not to worry and kissed me goodnight, which was not very comforting. Either way, I slept in my parents' room, and my grandmother returned to her house. She also passed away that night due to a car accident. It was not a collision, but she swerved out of the way from something. She was on a highway bridge, so it is unknown why she swerved, as animals cannot reach heights like that. I will never know what happened on those fateful nights, or why a man on a horse is staring at me right now.